You know, every single time you click a link, send an email, or watch a video, there's this whole hidden conversation going on. And it's not just a messy blast of information either. It's actually a super polite, really structured chat. In this explainer, we're going to pull back the curtain on that digital handshake and see how computers talk to each other so nicely to make our internet work.
Welcome to SuperCoreSeva. Unlock the secrets of the internet and master computer networking. Let's dive in.
So, how in the world do computers have a polite conversation? I mean, it sounds a little weird, right? They're just machines. But honestly, without a strict set of rules, the internet would be total chaos. This entire system we rely on is built on a foundation of, well, digital manners. Okay, let's get into it. The secret sauce here is something called TCP, which stands for Transmission Control Protocol. The easiest way to think about it is as the internet's official rulebook for good behavior. It's the thing that makes sure every digital conversation is reliable, that everything happens in the right order, and that it's all checked for mistakes. It's like an etiquette guide that stops computers from shouting over each other.
Okay, so to have any kind of conversation, you've got to have a language, right? And in the world of TCP, that language is built on something called flags. These are basically tiny signals that computers use to show what they want to do, almost like a digital mood ring. Let's check out the core vocabulary.
Now, this is where it gets really cool, because when you translate what these flags mean, they sound incredibly human. We're just going to focus on these four big ones for now. First, you've got SYN, which is basically, hello, let's connect. Then there's ACK, which is just a simple nod that says, yep, I heard you. FIN is the polite way of leaving. I'm done talking now. Goodbye. And then you've got RST. That's the panic button. It screams, I'm confused. Everybody stop what you're doing. This is pretty much the entire vocabulary for our digital handshake.
All right, so before any actual data can move back and forth, before you see the first pixel of a web page even start to load, the computers have to do this really formal greeting. It's called the three-way handshake, and it's this little ritual to make sure both sides are ready and willing to talk.
And this breaks it down perfectly. Let's say your computer, computer A, wants to talk to a website, computer B. In step 1, your computer sends out a SYN packet, which is just it saying, hi, I'd like to connect. Then, in step 2, the website replies with a SYN/ACK. This part's critical. It's saying, hi there, I heard you, and yes, I also want to connect. Finally, in step 3, your computer sends one last ACK back, saying, awesome, we're connected. It's this perfect, synchronized agreement. Only after all that can the real information start flowing.
You know, just like it's rude to just hang up on someone mid-sentence, the same thing goes for computers. Ending a conversation politely is just as important as starting one. So TCP has a formal process for this too, and it's called the four-way goodbye.
So let's follow the steps. Imagine your computer, computer A, is all done sending its information. First, it sends a FIN packet, which just means I'm done sending data. The other computer, B, immediately shoots back an ACK packet that says, okay, I heard you. Seems simple, right? But hold on, the connection isn't actually closed yet.
And this is such a crucial detail. At this point, we're in what's called a half-closed state. Your computer has set its piece, but the line is still open. And why is that? Well, just because computer A is done talking, it doesn't mean computer B is. It might still have some data to send back. This whole process prevents one side from just rudely cutting off the other. So this is how they wrap things up for good. Once computer B is also finished with everything it needs to send, it sends its own FIN packet in step 3 saying, okay, I'm also done sending data. And finally, computer A sends one last ACK in step 4. Understood. Goodbye. And just like that, the connection is formally, cleanly, and completely closed. No loose ends.
This really puts it all into perspective, doesn't it? On the left, you've got the FIN process, that calm, orderly closing we just talked about. It's the polite goodbye. On the right, you've got RST. That is the rude hang-up. It's not for normal conversations. It's an emergency stop for when things go completely haywire. It's pretty much the digital version of slamming the phone down.
So after all that, you might be wondering, okay, that's neat, but why does all this digital etiquette actually matter? Well, these greetings and goodbyes, they aren't just for show. They are the absolute foundation of what makes the internet reliable.
All right, let's do a super quick review of what we've covered, just to lock it in. We've got SYN, that's the hello. ACK is the simple nod, FIN is the polite goodbye, and RST is the emergency hang-up. And the most important sequence to remember for kicking off any connection is that greeting. SYN, then SYN/ACK, then ACK. That is the rhythm of the modern web.
So when you boil it all down, this whole system of digital manners, these polite hellos and these careful goodbyes, is the invisible engine humming away in the background, making sure the internet actually works for us every single day. It's why your files download completely, your messages show up in the right order, and your connections stay stable. It's a hidden but totally essential part of our world.
And that just makes you wonder, doesn't it? This is only one set of rules that governs how we interact online. So the question I'll leave you with is this: what other invisible rules are out there, quietly making our digital world possible?